big ocean can be a terrifying place. It's said that more than 80% of our ocean is unexplored. Who knows what could be under there? There is a story I've heard about a sea creature that had an accident with a big chunk of bait and an even bigger hook. And because of that mishap, he lost his eye. And ever since then, they've called him Deadeye the Shark. And he doesn't eat bait anymore. He only eats live bait. Anybody who's ever had an encounter with Deadeye the Shark doesn't live to tell the tale. And after you see the size of his mouth and the number of his teeth, you'll see why. Right now I'm adding the gum line to his mouth. I'm using the tan colored Sculpey with red flocking so it resembles gums. I won't be able to sculpt the inside of his mouth because the teeth will be in the way, so I have to make sure I get the inside of the mouth done before I put the teeth in. Using my ball stylus to blend it in and give the inside of the mouth some texture. Making sure I get the insides right, because once the teeth are in, I won't be able to go back inside. I'll take some white translucent Sculpey and sculpt the teeth. I wanted these teeth to have a lot of texture to them, some ridges, and a slight curve. I had a lot of trouble finding something that would give me that slight curve, so I grabbed a pie pan and sculpted all of the teeth along the edge of the pan, and it gave me the curve that I needed. The thing about sculpting teeth is you have to make sure you sculpt the right amount and enough of the right sizes, but in the end what you end up having to do is making more. And all the ones I made were a little bit too big, so I had to make some tiny ones. All sculpted and ready to bake. After you're done baking them, all you have to do is pull them off the pie pan and they're ready to embed into the clay. That one tooth in the middle there is a little bit too big. I end up replacing that one with a couple of smaller ones. As you do this, it's just a process of trial and error because you have to make sure that the teeth fit, that they look right. You know, sometimes the teeth are too big, sometimes they're too small, and you just have to keep rearranging it until you get it right. Now we'll put a set of teeth on the lower jaw. Now I'll add a little more clay to the outside and then blend it into the teeth. Now I'll just add some random smaller teeth on the outside of the ridge. Now it's just a matter of smoothing out the gums. Creating the gum line with a loop tool. Then we create some texture with the ball stylus and the paintbrush. That is one nice set of chompers. Now we'll cover him with a layer of liquid Sculpey and we'll start bulking out the shark body. I wanted to do as little painting as possible, so I decided to use gray Sculpey medium. It would have been really hard to not get paint on the gum line. I don't realize it yet, but great white sharks have a white gum line, and I'm not about to paint that gum line white, so what the heck am I gonna do? I'll show you how I fixed it in a minute. So we'll just continue bulking him out. His underside is white too, but that won't be too much of a problem to paint. We'll give him a little bit more of a sharper nose. Now I'm adding a ridge for the eyes. Now he just looks like a dolphin with teeth. Now to use the rake tool to smooth out all the lumps on his body. If you haven't figured it out by now, this is probably my most relaxing and favorite part of the sculpture. I love rake marks, but boy did they leave a mess. Now let's mark out the eyes. Made a pair of eyes out of translucent Sculpey. Now we'll smooth out that snout to make him look less like a dolphin and more like a shark. After I embedded the eyes in clay, I realized that he only needed one milky looking eye. So I popped this one out and make him a nice big black eye. You know why? That way I don't have to paint it. Am I getting lazy, or am I just being practical? Maybe a little bit of both. Now to show you how I fixed the white around the gum line. I took some white clay and ran it through the pasta maker and added it to the gum line. That way I still don't have to paint. Ha 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 ha! Then you just blend the white into the gray clay. Now we continue with more refinements around the eyes. This is going to be the eye that caught the hook. And this is his only good eye. Now I'm going to try cause clay for the first time to make his fins. Even though cause clay is more flexible after baking, I'm still going to give it a layer of aluminum foil underneath it just to give it a little bit of added strength. What you do is you put one layer down and then you cut around the aluminum foil. And then you stick it on the other side, then you cut it out, and it sandwiches the aluminum foil in between it. Now we have to dig out the area where the fin's going to be. Then lay out some thin strips and blend it into the body. I really did like the way the cause clay blended into the regular Super Sculpey. Now we'll make his fins the same way we made his dorsal. Cut out a space for his fins to go and blend them into the body. Now we'll make his tail the same way. Now we'll cut out a little notch in his butt. and the tail. Now we'll give his skin a shark-like texture. Now we're going to create the hook. Now I know the hook won't go all the way through his eye because it's cured, so I'll have to cut it. Whoops! Ah, I got it. Now to poke several holes in his eyes until I find the right position. And as you can tell by the holes, it took me several tries. Now I gotta fill them up. Now we'll go ahead and make some repairs. Now we'll add some stringy pieces of skin that makes his eye look infected. By the way this looks, you can see why he's so grumpy and likes to eat people. Now it's time to paint. Luckily, all I really have to do is paint the fins and blend it into the gray clay. Now I'll paint his underside with white and blend it up to the white clay. I think in the future I might be doing more of this minimalized painting. Now we'll take some pastels and blend it into his gums. Guess who forgot to sculpt the gills? Guilty as charged. I guess I'm gonna have to start making a checklist before I put it in the oven to bake, because once it's baked, it's too late. So I had to make the best of it and just paint the gills on. Sometimes you just gotta deal with the mistakes you make and just work with what you got. What kind of sculptor would I be if I didn't make his eyes all bloody and gooey and infected? That looks about right. Giving his one good eye a little bit of gloss. And of course we can't forget his teeth and gums. Now let's give him something to swim on. We'll make him a little rock pillar. Then we'll paint it black and dry brush it with some gray paint. Whoa, I'll see you guys later. I'm out of here. looks like you survived. Not very many people have. Anyway, I really appreciate you watching, and if you think I deserve it, please consider giving the video a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more, please consider subscribing. If you'd like to see another video, up there in the right-hand corner, there's a video called The Crazy 8 Ball. And as always, a big thank you to my subscribers. I really appreciate your support. Take care, and we'll see you next time.